What is up, y'all? What is up? I am just stoked. As a big Armored Core fan, I wanted to go through this trailer and kind of reference some things because I know there's a lot of new players and they're not going to understand the excitement of why us old fans are really getting into this. So I want to go through and kind of break down stuff, but also talk about things. So let's get into the trailer and we'll go as we go. So excited. So they did say it is a new planet, Rubicon 3. Now, for English, that voice actor has been in Armored Core before. I believe the last Armored Core game he was in was 5, Armored Core V. I think he was one of the other one of the other Ravens that tried to kill us. Can't remember. I know he was in the brown mech. That's all I remember. I have to go back and play it, but he has been in Armored Core games before.
Handler Walter verified. Activating cerebral coral control device.
Okay, so that piece that branched off, that was the Vernier Overboost. The Vernier Overboost was in Armored Core 4 and for Answer. It was used to just kind of launch you in a direction just to make you go faster. There was actually a couple missions where you had to use the Vernier Overboost to take out ships or bypass cannon fire to get to your target faster.
Augmented human C46.
That line has been used before. This may not be the same augmented human, but I know augmented humans were in Armored Core for Answer. The first one, there was a prototype augmented human. I might pull him up later, but he was one of the mechs. He was using a prototype mech. It was a super lightweight. It had super machine guns. Like it had these double machine guns on both shoulders and machine guns on both hands. And it was just a light type that would just dash all over the place, just side boost everywhere. So they're bringing back augmented humans from Armored Core 4 and 4 Answer.
21 has awakened.
That type of boosting where you were moving in a triangle almost, that's from Armored Core 4. So already I'm seeing a lot of callbacks to Armored Core 4. Armored Core 4 and For Answer were the fastest moving games of the series. So I'm pretty sure looking at how much in this trailer they have the dashing shown in, that you're going to want to play Armored Core 4 or For Answer to get a feel for how fast the movement was, because I'm not kidding you when I say Armored Core 4 and For Answer, you could move so fast that the camera couldn't keep up with you from just side boosting. If you had the right shoulder booster pieces, you could go so fast that the camera couldn't even keep up with you and couldn't follow you. So it was crazy. That AC is very reminiscent of the first gen of Armored Core games. So Armored Core 1, 2, 3, Nexus, all the ones that were on the original PlayStation, from PlayStation to the PlayStation Portable. Yeah, to the PSP. That was how Armored Cores were made. The thing that's getting me, I'm going to jump ahead in something really quick, but I don't know if you can see, but this left shoulder piece is a shield, and they show it in gameplay moving forward, and the shield kind of comes out and it opens and it blocks. There's a laser shield, which is interesting because they've shown Primal Armor, and Primal Armor was in Armored Core 4 and For Answer, was a shield that was always active, and it would just kind of mitigate damage, kind of just Kind of like if you've played Halo or Destiny, you have a shield before you hit your health points, and that's what primal armor was for. So I'm wondering in this game if you're going to have to choose between primal armor, no primal armor at all, or kind of like a shield unit that can block, because those shield units, they were in old Armored Core games like the first gen Armored Core 1, 2, and 3, where you had a shoulder unit that would be a manual shield, and there was one that was always active where it would kind of just deflect fire and kind of like move front and back. So I'm wondering if they're doing that again, but overall that design is from, I think, mostly from Nexus or Last Raven. There goes the boosting again from Armored Core 4. And there we go. We had our look at our first blade attack. I'm really interested in it. Oh, there's a better look of this Armored Core. So, seeing it from the front, it's very reminiscent to the Holgeir. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Holgeir? 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 I don't know. I'm not going to butcher it. So you've normally got this, for balance purposes, they start you off with like a mid to long range cannon in your right hand, which is what we have here. This is like kind of like a mid range, probably singleton shot rifle with a close range short blade in the left hand. You've got a missile launcher on the right shoulder. Looks like he has nothing on shoulders, but then there's that shield unit on the left back side. So pretty balanced. Looks like a mid-weight, sort of mid-heavy-ish, kind of like the Holgeir. That's why it reminds me of the Holgeir. Holgeir was this mid-range armored core that had wings. If you're familiar with Gundam, it was kind of like the new Gundam, where it had the funnel pieces that would branch off and shoot as a laser. Well, the Holgeir had kind of like the same thing. They wouldn't branch off, but it had like these angel-looking wings that were actually like high laser rifles, where they would like fold over and then you could like shoot in a spread, which would pretty much just wreck enemies. But it had a very heavyweight frame like this, where it looks heavy, but it's kind of mobile. It's more of a mid-range type of build. Oh, that's interesting. It came over this time. So usually in most Armored Core games, you swing going outward with blades. So like if you have your blade on your right hand, you would swing going out, and the animation would end with your arm extended. This one came in with an arcing swing coming across the body. So that's actually interesting. I've seen in the trailer there are multiple different angles that they can attack from, but that's really interesting all in itself, just that motion. Missiles are normal. Yes. Oh, quad legs are like my favorite. Oh, they brought back the scanning. Okay. I did not notice that before. So I'm going to talk about the scanning first. So scanning the units going through walls, that was in Armored Core 5, also known as V. Armored Core 5 Verdict Day, you had a combat mode and a recon mode. The recon mode would allow you to like scan the area. You had a manual crosshair that was kind of like a box, like a big box in front of you. And when you were in recon mode, you could use it to scan for enemies. You could shoot out recon units that would kind of like do a pulse in an area to like highlight if there were any items or if there were any enemies nearby. And it would target them and number them for you as long as that recon unit was in that area. So that's good to note. They're bringing back the scanner. Looking at this quad unit, this four-legged unit, I used to love them. We've got a Gatling gun on the right hand. I know one of my friends would love that because that was all he used. We have some type of heavy cannon on the left rear. It might be a grenade launcher. It's very reminiscent to the grenade launchers in Armored Core 4 Answer. We have another missile launcher on the right rear unit. So that might be a vertical because it looks like Yeah, it might be a vertical because if you can see here, there are the cover is lifting up, so it might be shooting missiles straight up into the air, which are vertical units. They go up into the air before they descend on the target. I don't see any shoulder pieces on this one, and I can't see the other arms. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, so we have a mid-range rifle. Yeah, pretty balanced. So mid-range rifle, left hand. Gatling gun right hand, so that's continuous fire. It's probably got like 1,000 rounds in its drum, or probably 3,000 rounds. Armor Core games usually have somewhere between 500 rounds if it's a small Gatling gun to about like 5,000 if it's a heavy Gatling gun. Let me see, that rifle is kind of a sniper mid-range rifle because it's got the scope, but it's also got the action grip, so it might be an assault rifle. I'm thinking it might be an assault rifle, just looking at it. But that's definitely a vertical missile pod, and that definitely might be a grenade launcher on the left rear. Yep, it was a vertical. All right, so there we have it. So it's got the covers lifted up. It's a vertical. And the deadly thing about vertical missile launchers, which if you're interested in PvP, which they already announced there will be a PvP, verticals are very difficult to kind of deal with because, as you can see, it's launching the missile straight up, and it's also a delayed shot. So you'll see the smoke come out first, and in Armored Core you have the option to shoot those missiles and they explode if you're good enough. Either you can detach your lock on and aim slightly above, like we used to in Armored Core 4, or if you have something that does like big explosions, or if you have, they might have them in this game. In Armored Core 4, they had shoulder units that had flares, so that way you could distract missiles. But these launch at a slower rate. So as you can tell, the mech is moving to the side. It's launching those vertical missiles in a row. So it's got 2 rows. If you can see, it's got 2 rows of vertical missiles. So that's 8 shots each. They're going to delay, come up, sit there, and then descend on the target. And let me see. That would involve manual lock on first. They're not going to be that accurate, but there will be manual lock on. Ooh! That movement. Oh, that's Armored Core 4 movement. And this is what I was talking about with lightweights and quick movement. The camera's panned out, but you if you played Armored Core 4, you know this. That thrusting, and it's gonna go by quick, so I gotta like move kind of slow. Let me slow it down. Let me slow it down a bit. Oops, I sped it up by accident. Yep, I did speed it up. It used to be the opposite direction. All right, the missiles. You can tell they're coming down. They're locked on. It's going to show you a lock on, like most games. It'll show you a lock on, and then it'll come in. Boost, 180 boost, forward boost. Oh, so we got a laser rifle. I love those movements. The super lightweights are always so fun to play. This enemy is interesting because it's got integrated weapons. All right, so we had the left shoulder boost. This one looks like it's from Omer Science. That might be, crap, what was that weapon from Armored Core 5? Oh, a jammer. That might be a jammer on the right hand. I'm trying to see what it has. So, yeah, that might be a jammer. It's got reverse joint legs, so it's going to be able to jump really high. It's a super lightweight, so it's going to move fast. Let's see. The 180 boost to fling it around. And yeah, that is a laser rifle. But I'm curious what that is on its back because it's doubled. So it might be. It might be increased boosters. No, 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 no. It's got like. It might be auto missiles. Oh, that's a laser shotgun. Oh, you can see the spread. Okay. When was their last laser shotgun in the game? I'm trying to remember. Okay. A lot of spread. It might be a jammer. It might be a jammer. Jammers are like in Armored Core, they're like mini EMPs, which are very good in PvP as well. Because you can shoot out kind of like a pulse, kind of like an energy pulse. It's really a weird weapon to explain without seeing it in action. But it could be that, or it could be a lightweight machine gun. Because I'm looking at the barrel. I mean, not the barrel. The ammo drum and the barrel looks. No, it looks very energy based. This might be an energy unit. But those reverse joint legs, it looks like it's from Omer Science. And those are missile pods on its back, now that I see them. Those are the scatter missiles. So that's a very common design. That design was in Armored Core 4 and 4 Answer. They were a little bit thicker. But it shoots out these forward going scatter missiles that kind of spread out. And then they like kind of like gel into like this one really powerful hit, almost like a shotgun blast. But they're very hard to deal with. Boost. And this I'm interested in. Look at the legs. So it seems like there might be a type of unique melee action with these particular reverse joint legs. Because from what I'm seeing, it looks like the pieces are opening up, which might lead to some type of melee kick as long as you're boosted, which would explain why they're using lasers because this is a high energy unit. So their generator, if they keep it like the old games, your generator that you can pick from will base how much energy you have. So if you need to use laser weapons, you need a high output generator for your AC, which is going to determine how much energy you can use because you need your thrusters to be kind of slow so that they reserve energy because your lasers are purely pulling off your battery, which is kind of weird for a weapon to pull off your battery because in Gundam they don't do that. Like each laser weapon has its own set in battery into the weapon, but in Armored Core, the weapons pull from your main generator in order to use power. Otherwise, they can't be used. So, I don't know. We'll see, but this is definitely interesting. Yeah, because you can see the legs extend like as if it's doing a kick or pushing off. All right. And then we have our heavy units. Oh, I love this. I love this. Let's go back. Let's take a look at this bad boy. All right. Tank units have always been in the game. But this one looks more like Raiden. So it's got a gigantic missile pod on the back, similar to Armored Core 5. This might be a bazooka on its left hand. On its right hand, that looks like a probably generic rifle. I'm curious about this jumping. Like, seeing a tank jump is amazing. That is just truly amazing. Yeah, and it just like leaps into action. Yeah, that's definitely a giant vertical missile launcher. Looking at the rifle closer, it might be a ballistic weapon or it might be an energy weapon. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm still curious what that is on the right side. And I know one of my friends is going to absolutely love the fact that tanks can drift and jump and be faster and mobile. All right, so there we have the switch between the rear unit and the left hand unit. If you're not familiar with Armored Core games, the reason why certain weapons are on your back are because they're used as storage. Some of them can be activated, like missile launchers or rear cannons, but other weapons you can just switch with. That was more used in Armored Core 5 than Armored Core 4 and in the previous games what you had in your hand, what you had in your hand to aim and shoot or slash, and then what was on your back and your shoulders were used as like extra weapons. Mostly they were shooting or like I'd say like utility weapons, like I said, like flares before, or like external boosters to help you go faster. Um, Armor Core 5 had where you switch, so you would have your hand weapons if you wanted to have like, let's say, two Gatling guns in both hands, and then you wanted to have like two sniper rifles on your back. You could use the Gatling guns, and then be like, you know what, I need a sniper. Bam, switch, bow. So it was a lot more creative. And then Armored Core 4 had reserves where you had like little handguns and stuff in your reserve slots. But let's see. So he's switching with the rear weapon. That is a nuke in a gun. Okay, so it launched the scatter missiles. These are scatter missile version 2s. So scatter missiles, like I was saying before, you have the other scatter missiles that were on the shoulder. I mean, on the back pieces of the light unit, where they kind of just go out and then come in, like in Armored Core 4. And then you have these scatter missiles, which are scatter missiles version 2, where it shoots out a missile that branches off into like 10, usually on average it's between like 8 to 16 in one unit, and those will branch out. They have their own boosters, they lock on like VTFs. They do pretty good damage. I don't know about that might be more cinematic. They don't really do that much damage. Yeah, they don't really do that much damage, but we'll see. Is that a whip? So the director did mention that there were new melee weapons. The thing I'm curious about right here is this one is using a flamethrower. And flamethrowers haven't been in the game since, ooh, 5? Was 5 the last one? Armored Core V? I think that was the last time there was a flamethrower, because they weren't really that good because they were short range only. They've appeared in other mech games, but yeah. Trying to get a look at our ground unit here with the flamethrower. See what he has. So there's a manual shield, or it might be an auto shield. Not sure right now, at least. He's got the flamethrower. He's got another vertical missile unit on the rear. Yeah, that's the manual shield that's on the left side. That's producing that energy. And then he's got a revolver? Hmm. Might be a reserve weapon. That looks like one of the reserve weapons from Armor Core 4 that I was just talking about, where they're super light. They don't really take up space or weight from your unit, so that way it doesn't mess with your balancing if they bring that back. And then this crazy whip thing going on. Ooh, that might be a custom enemy. Judging by the way the parts look, that looks like it might be a custom enemy or a boss. And then we get to the big boss battles, which is known for Armored Core. If you're also looking to play another Armored Core game that has giant bosses like this, it's not an official Armored Core game, but it was made by the Armored Core team. It was called Deus Ex Machina. That was made by the Armored Core team from Software, who branched out because they were. I'm not going to get into the story of it, but they were kind of sick of making Souls games, so they wanted to make a mech game, and so they went to what's that publisher? Marvelous, and they made Deus Ex Machina. Deus Ex Machina is a Armored Core game through and through. It's made by the same devs. It's just different publisher, different studio. But they also have giant mech battles. So if you want to get familiar with that, Deus Ex Machina is on the Nintendo Switch and Steam, as far as I know. All right, so with our mech right here, that looks to be a cannon. I don't know if that's a switchable cannon or a rear-mounted cannon, but that's what I can see here. This rifle in the right hand is definitely an assault rifle. I think that's the spread missiles from the lightweight unit. But this is definitely Armored Core 4 movement. When on the ground, this is how you would move in Armored Core 4. Your thrusters would just activate and just push you, and you would slide in the direction. So if you were to move this way, your thrusters would only be activated, pushing you that way. And then you switch, and you'd be moving back the other way until you use your accelerated boost. Then it just launches you in whatever direction you're moving. But yeah, that's definitely an assault rifle that I can see, and that might be a rear-mounted laser cannon. It looks very familiar to the one that was in Armored Core 4 made by Omer Science. Hmm. So we have mech versus mech combat, which is very common in Armored Core games. You're gonna fight against other mechs. If this is a Armored Core game down through like all the way, you're going to fight 3 mechs at once. Just letting you know right now, it's in every Armored Core game. You're gonna get to a point where you're gonna fight some licensed mercenaries or some other pilots that are from a company, and it's gonna be a trap. You're gonna fight 3 of them at once by yourself, no help, no assistance whatsoever, just you and your build, and you have to survive and kill all 3 mechs at once. So just letting you know that it does happen. It's the primal armor moment. Okay, I gotta slow that down. All right, so I alluded to this earlier in the video when I was talking about shields and defense. So you have your physical shield, which we saw on the shoulder unit, where it comes out and opens up across the body. And then they might have a physical shield. Armored Core does have physical shields in the game as well, where you actually hold a physical shield, kind of like a la Gundam. And then you have primal armor. So, oh man, primal armor is like I said, it's like a bubble. It's like a bubble shield of energy that surrounds your Armored Core. And you could also use it as a weapon. In Armored Core 4 Answer, yeah, an Armored Core for Answer was when you could actually weaponize this shield. And it was so powerful that people made whole builds around just exploding your armor, because you slowly regenerate this shield back over time, based on how fast it takes for your generators to put out the energy to rebuild the shield. So that's what this explosion is, if you're curious. And it's the classic zoom out. because it always did the zoom out. Boom. And that's the explosion. So if you go back and watch the Armored Core 4 Answer trailer, you'll see the white glint is the Armored Core they're showing. It was the main Armored Core of the story. And there was a part where it's like flying through this base. It's fighting against the Arms Fort Mother Will. And you'll see that it, like, the headpiece closes and goes into the body, and then there are certain parts of the body that open, and it does this same explosion. So I'm glad they're bringing that back. Man, Primal Armor gets me so hyped. This part I gotta play.
One of the infamous handler Walter's hounds. Interesting. You ready to climb the wall?
All right. So getting back to that scene, like I said before, you're going to encounter mercenaries from other factions, or mercenaries that were hired by certain companies or by certain private, just people with money, private clients, whoever, because they're on this planet, they're after a resource. So mercenaries are going to be a thing. You yourself are an independent mercenary. You're not affiliated with any company or client or nation. This is the armored core that we saw earlier with the lightweight pieces, the super lightweight mech, but it looks very reminiscent to Armored Core 4. So there was a... Ooh, now that I'm looking at it, it's not Upstarva. In Armored Core 4 Answer, there was a collaboration between two of the companies, Omer Science and the Bernard Felix Foundation. They came together to make a new prototype armored core, and these are the same parts. Not all of them are the same parts, but I recognize the arms. The arms are definitely from that armored core. I might have to go pull it up. Um, the legs definitely look similar. The headpiece is different, so this might be a custom. That's a machine gun in the right hand. Yeah, that's a machine gun in the left hand. Let me see. It might be a blade, or it might be a I don't know. It's on top of the hand. So if it's on top of the hand, it's probably a blade or a missile launcher, or it might be some type of laser weapon. Nothing on the shoulders.
One of the infamous.
If you're familiar with Armored Core, for answer, um, what pilot used this? Windy Fanchon in the Rider Palash. This looks like the Rider Palash. You can tell by the arms. The chest piece is small, some similar to an Aaliyah. Yeah, it looks like the Omer Science BFF collaboration parts.
Handler Walter's hounds.
The green pieces are the cameras. That's a camera right there for the pilot. I love armored cores; they're so beautiful.
Interesting. You ready to climb the wall?
And then this is actually, that's not the lightweight unit from earlier. Looking at it, it's another reverse joint, but it's not the same. So let me see. This will be definitely further along in the story. This boss is definitely from Armored Core 5. You can just tell. Let me see. Our heroic Patreon. The one that they're using, these are definitely Hogire legs. Definitely. You cannot miss that. Those are Hogire legs from Armored Core 4. Um, actually, the arms are too from Rosenthal Company. That's interesting. I'm throwing out the names of this stuff so that way when you go back, if you want to play these games, if you want to play them through emulation, or if you have a 360, PS3, for Armored Core 4, for Answer 5, Verdict Day, you can still play those games. They work very well, whether you're playing them through disc or emulation. But these, you can definitely tell the parts. They're very similar. Like you can tell this is from the Rosenthal because of the way the back piece is. It's very flat, very angular in the front, but very very sleek design. Still kind of bulky. It has the like coils on the arms and the biceps. That lightweight unit that looks like for answer. It definitely looks like the Rider Palash. Um, Curious what that weapon is, but it definitely has a machine gun in the right hand. It's got some type of chain. It looks like a rusted chain machine gun from For Answer on its left back unit. But let's keep moving forward.
Call sign Raven. Priority subject for termination. High on the list.
That motion was from Gundam. I haven't seen that in a long time. That is a Gundam movement. So the quick boosting, ooh, that might be, if you're a Dark Souls fan, that blade might be the because it's in Armored Core games too. Uh I can remember the name of the mech that used it, but I can't remember the name of the weapon. It's that one sword that's in almost all from soft games. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now, but that might be it. They might be showing it early because that's the biggest blade I've seen so far. Ooh, yeah, that definitely might be it. This has got an extra piece. So this is a pure blade unit. Pure blade unit. Let me pull. Let me see. I'm gonna do it off screen. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Was a great sword. Oh, why I can't think of it? Was it curved? No, it was a colossal sword. Colossal. Was it a colossal sword? Guess not. Great swords. The Dark Moon. Yeah, the Dark Moon Great Sword. Oh. That's definitely big enough to be that weapon. I forgot what it's called in all the other games. Oh, interesting. So it's got like a hand piece. I'm curious if it's an integrated weapon now. Going with our hero here. Got some different pieces. This is the pile driver right here, the spike. So it's got this like really long spike the size of the arm. It opens up. You see it in the trailer in another piece when he like stabs another mech and pulls out and there's oil on the blade. That's that weapon on his left hand. I'm curious. I think that's the shield that's normally on the left shoulder, but I don't know what that is. That's new on the right. That is completely new. Oh, we've got a machine gun. Oh, look at that. That looks like a Tommy gun. Oh, dang, I had it. Yep. So that's either a Tommy or a Thomas gun. Um, that's probably going to be either a machine gun or a Gatling gun. It might be a lightweight Gatling gun. You can definitely see it's got the Thomas barrel, the big drum that carries a bunch of ammo. That's really good to see. So this might be an enemy mech or it might be one of the mercenaries. Judging by Armor Core stories, they like might be like one of the enemies that gets sucked into like some type of cult or faction where they believe they need to set fire to the universe because it's I don't know because it's cleansing the cleansing the universe of whatever. There's always extremists in Armored Core games and FromSoft games, but the stab and the lift that is interesting. Man, that is crazy. Definitely gonna let's see that normal speed.
Priority subject for termination. High on the list.
But this is gonna be a fast paced game. So like don't think this is anywhere near like as slow as Soulsborne games are. Soulsborne's games are so slow compared to Armored Core games. It's ridiculous. Like you have to have really fast reflexes. That's an interesting circular circular motion. Let me look up something real quick off screen. So it looks like there's going to be different animations based on the weapon you're using. So it's not going to be the same. Um, four split moon. There we go. The Moonlight Blade. So this might be the character using the Moonlight Blade if it's the same. Look at how big that is. The blade is going off the screen. That's amazing. Let's slow this down. Sorry about that. All right, so you got your quick boost, you got your big enemy. Like I said, big enemies are a thing. Double swing. All right, side boost. So now they've got a different weapon set up. So it looks like there might be a shotgun in the right hand, which is good for getting up close. If you have a blade on your left hand, shotgun, I mean, run in, boom, do like massive damage, and then slash afterward. That's very good close combat. This looks like it might be a laser rifle on the back. That side boosting left to right. That's Armored Core 4. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna get crazy. Yep, there's that shield. Yeah, that's definitely a shotgun in the right hand. That is definitely a high laser rifle for long range fire. Because you're gonna have, if you're new to the game and you're still sticking along because you're interested, um, you're going to have enemies that have different parts. So certain parts of mechs are weak against certain types of ammo. So you have some that are weak against laser fire, some that are weak against heavy ballistics. And if they bring back chemical weapons, which I hope not, but they might, chemical weapons are a part of Armored Core as well in the fifth gen 5 and Verdict Day. But it looks like from what I'm seeing so far, it looks like just lasers and ballistics. But Man, there might be plasma as well. Plasma also counts as energy, but plasma is a bit different. Like plasma goes against. Oh, there might be plasma. Plasma is anti primal armor. It's just completely the opposite. Like if you have primal armor, you shoot them with plasma. Plasma pierces the primal armor and does direct damage. Hopefully they bring that back. Large scale enemies. This, this, this. This is an ultimate weapon from Armored Core 5 and Verdict Day. Armored Core 5 and Verdict Day brought in these massive, stupid, big attachment weapons like a pillar from a building you can use as a club. It's stupid. But they also had in like giant missile launchers like this. They had a giant rocket launcher that was like a nuke that could one shot anyone where it landed. They had other types of weapons, but this is definitely a ultimate weapon. So it takes up like if you were to get this weapon for your character, it would take up all of your extra slots. So as you can see, the arms are here. So this AC is a heavy unit, so it has a lot of armor points. It's got this interesting Gatling gun in the right hand. The ultimate weapon takes up your entire rear and shoulder slot, so there's nothing that can go back there, which is why this massive thing is the way it is. And then it looks like in the left hand there might be manual rockets. Manual rockets are kind of hard. They hit they hit hard, but you have to manually shoot them. And there's no lock on for manual rockets. You just shoot them. Like you don't even get a crosshair. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but for manual rockets, those were like very niche. You had to be like really good to use those weapons. But yeah, this ultimate weapon opens up. It's a giant missile launcher, which turns into bullet hell. Hmm. A lot to take in here. Oh. So yeah, I was right about this Gatling gun, but this Gatling gun is connected to the ultimate weapon. And it does look like there's some type of missile launcher. Because you could see he was like scurrying across and shooting with the Gatling gun on the ultimate weapon. I'm trying to see there. Yeah, there it is. It's hard to see, but there's the Gatling gun. There's like a missile launcher of some kind, or maybe rockets. Oh, there's another machine gun attached. Oh, so this might be interesting. It seems like, let me go back, see if I can see that. Like there might be additional weapons on the back. So they might be able to purge after all of the missiles have been used up. Purge all these additional ports that opened up, and then there's additional weaponry on the backpack. Cuz that's what it seems like after they're used up. After all the missiles are gone, they're going to be out there for a while. These seem like heat-seeking missiles, maybe VTF types that explode in your vicinity. And you can see the carrier is completely different. So I'm pretty sure they purged. The missiles are still just going out around you because they have a long flight time. Then there's this really big machine gun that's just kind of moving across the right side. And then the armored core that's in it is holding that weird Gatling gun thing at the same time. Where it's got like 5 barrels on it or something. Yeah, the backpack is still there. That's gonna be a crazy boss fight. That's just gonna be a crazy boss fight. Oh, Armored Core 5. So there we have. Let me keep going. So whenever you see the red grinding gears of a weapon, that's Armored Core 5. All right, I've actually paused it at the right moment. So we still have the shield on the left rear. We have a grenade launcher, or maybe it's a bazooka. I'm not sure. Let me see that again. That might be a bazooka or a grenade launcher. Oh, you can take battle damage in this game. Okay. That's a grenade launcher. Okay.
Let's see how far they can fly.
On borrowed
wings.
Woo! August 25th, man. And this pre-order and get the Melander C3 G13 special customization Thunderfoot. That I'm curious about because either it's the customizable colors and stuff, or it might be the mech parts itself. I said Thunderfoot, Tenderfoot. Um, Special customization Tenderfoot. You can see it's definitely got its own color scheme. The chest piece looks like it's from an old Armored Core game. It's got the rear vertical. That rifle in its right hand looks definitely interesting. That might be a high impact assault rifle or just a rifle for longer range. Who knows? But that definitely looks interesting. And then here we get to see the pile driver that I was talking about before on the figure. So we've got the pile driver. That looks to be a light machine gun in the right hand. This unit is very reminiscent to the old Armored Core games. Kind of like a mixture of all of them in one. Like I said, the legs are very reminiscent of the Hogire from 4 and 4 Answer. But at the same time, the chest piece is definitely Armored Core Nexus kind of last Ravenish. The arms are definitely like Hogire mixed with like 4 Answer with a little bit of Armored Core 5. The way the shoulder unit is, the headpiece is definitely custom, but it's kind of like the Aaliyah, but not really, from Armored Core 4. We got the vertical missile launcher on the left rear unit. And it looks like there are no shoulder pieces in this game. So this might be more like Armored Core 5, where you can just swap between your hands and your back. If you're using your back as a I lost the word as a storage for another weapon to switch, like we saw on the tank unit. That was definitely Armored Core 5, but you would see like a slot or a socket if you were able to put pieces on the shoulder. So we might not be using shoulder pieces in this game. I love this. I really want that figure so bad. And the garage. So the garage is like where we go to customize our mechs. It's usually in every game you have like your own hub, where you can even customize it a little bit if you want to. Change the colors, put up flags, put up your banner sometimes. Where you can walk around and kind of like get a human size look at your mech, which is freaking dope. But yeah, the garages are always pretty cool. And it's usually like a big garage. But going back, just watching it one last time, kind of taking everything I was talking about.
C4621 has awakened.
I didn't even mention that because I completely forgot. That might be an arms fort that we have to fight and take down. Arms forts are gigantic mobile armors. If you're familiar with Gundam, they're like mobile armors. Um, Kind of like the Psycho Gundam or like the Big Zom. Um, the Arms Fort Mother Will was the focus of Armored Core for Answers. So if you see that trailer, you'll know what I'm talking about if you go back and watch it. But I didn't realize this might be an Arms Fort, so that's pretty crazy. I wish we could see more of the tank. I'm very curious how that thing maneuvers. I didn't notice that was a bazooka. Sorry. In his right hand, that is a classic bazooka from Armored Core 4 and for Answer. Shoots about 12 to 24 rounds and just does massive damage. Bazookas are like one hit, auto stun the enemy kind of thing. Like if they're a mobile unit, you hit them with a bazooka, they're in a stun lock state, just like, and then you get free hits. So keep that in mind if you're new.
One of the infamous handler Walter sounds. Interesting. You ready to climb the wall? Call sign Raven. Priority subject for termination. High on the list.
A call response from the generator. Watch out.
Alicia Jernafelt? I'm sorry. That voice actor. That might be. I think she was the voice actor for the White Glint in Armored Core for Answer.
Call sign Raven. Priority subject for termination. High on the list.
A call response from the generator.
Yep. Yep, that's Alicia Jernafelt. That's not her real name. That was the character's name. But,
This call sign.
whew.
Let's see how far they can fly. On borrowed wings.
All right. So that was kind of like a breakdown of just what you can expect from the game. If you're looking to go back and play some of the older games, I definitely advise playing like maybe Silent Line on the PSP. A lot of games you can find through emulation or through, depending on if you have a console. I know there was an Armored Core bundle for the PS3 and I think the PS4 where they had remade Silent Line and Last Raven. Armored Core 4 and For Answer, like I said, are still on the PS3 and 360 if you have either of those consoles. There was Deus Ex Machina on the Nintendo Switch and Steam. Armored Core 5 and Verdict Day were also PS3 and 360. And if you have a strong enough PC that can emulate Armored Core games, by all means, go ahead and do it. Even with the PSP, you can put an emulator on there. Those games didn't take up a lot of memory. They weren't really big files, so it'd be pretty easy to emulate those through RetroArch. Very simple, but that's what you can expect. So there is a lot. The first Armored Core game was in 1997, and like they've evolved over the years. I wonder if they're going to bring back the legless hover units. I really love those things. They were fun. Anyway, but yeah, that's what you can expect. Those are your references from older games. I hope you're excited about this game as much as I am, because I am through the roof. I'm trying to contain myself. That's how excited I am. And I will see you guys August 25th. I'm at a loss for words. I'll see y'all later. Peace.